I slept in an Amish bedroom in August, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it since. Not because it was comfortable in the way that a hotel room is comfortable, with climate control and blackout curtains and a thermostat you dial to exactly 68 degrees. It was comfortable in a completely different way, the way that a thing is comfortable when it is exactly right for its purpose, rather than engineered to simulate a controlled environment. The room was 71 degrees at 10 at night when I went to sleep. I know because I had my thermometer with me, the small one I carry in my shirt pocket on every farm visit, and I checked it because I could not understand how a room with no air conditioning and no electric fan and no mechanical intervention of any kind was 71 degrees on an August night in Ohio when the day's high had been 94. The room belonged to a family named Shetler, a farm outside Fredericksburg in Wayne County, and I was staying there as a guest during a multi-day visit to document their root cellar operation. The house was built in 1923. It had no air conditioning. It had never had air conditioning. And the bedroom I slept in on the second floor, which is the floor that in every house I have ever lived in is the hottest floor in summer because heat rises, was the most genuinely comfortable sleeping environment I had experienced since the previous August, which was the last time I had slept in an Amish bedroom. In the morning I asked my host, a man named Isaac Shetler, how the room was that temperature. I asked it the way you ask a question when you already know the answer is going to require you to revise something you thought you understood. Isaac Shetler looked at me for a moment with the particular expression of someone who has been asked why water is wet, and then he said, "Come and I will show you." He showed me for 2 hours. What follows is everything I understood by the end of those 2 hours and everything I have verified since. Isaac Shetler on his Fredericksburg farm began the explanation not with the bedroom but with the roof, because the roof, he said, is where the problem either gets solved or does not get solved, and everything done inside the house after that is either building on a solved problem or compensating for an unsolved one. He took me up to the attic above the second floor bedroom and showed me the underside of the roof boards. The roof was oriented with the ridge running east to west, which meant the long south face of the roof took the full afternoon sun from roughly 11 in the morning until sunset, and the north face took the morning sun only briefly before noon. This orientation was not accidental. Isaac Shetler said his grandfather had positioned the house on the lot with the long axis running east to west specifically, so that the north face of the roof, which shelters the bedrooms, faced away from the most intense afternoon sun. He said, "You cannot cool a bedroom efficiently if the roof above it is running at 160 degrees at 3 in the afternoon." He said the first decision is where the heat comes from, and the second decision is everything else. The attic above the bedroom had working gable vents at both ends, unobstructed, with new aluminum mesh that Isaac had replaced 3 summers ago. Between the gable vents and the ridge vent above them, the attic was moving air continuously, and the temperature up there on that August morning was 91 degrees, which sounds hot but is 50 degrees cooler than the sealed attic I had measured in a neighboring English house the previous week at 141 degrees. 50 degrees of difference at the attic level produces an 11 to 14 degree difference at the ceiling of the room below, and 11 to 14 degrees at the ceiling of a bedroom is the entire distance between sleeping comfortably and lying awake in miserable heat. Isaac Shetler said, "Most people try to cool the air in the room." He said, "I manage the heat before it reaches the room." He said, "Those are not the same project, and they do not cost the same amount of money." The second element Isaac Shetler showed me on his Fredericksburg farm was the window system. And this is where the $8 investment from the title of this video lies. And I want to explain the context before I explain the material, because the material without the context is just a product, and the context is what makes the product work. Every window in Isaac Shetler's bedroom is equipped with interior linen curtains. Not heavy curtains, not blackout curtains. Undyed natural linen, loosely woven, hung on a simple rod inside the window frame so that the curtain falls across the window opening from the inside. During the day, when the sun is on the south and west faces of the house, these curtains are dampened with water from a spray bottle and allowed to hang damp across the window opening with the window itself open behind them. The outdoor air moving through the open window passes through the wet linen before it enters the room. This is evaporative cooling. Not the mechanical evaporative cooling of a swamp cooler that costs $300 and consumes electricity. The original version, the version that has been cooling rooms in hot climates since before recorded history. That works on the same physical principle as the sweat on your skin. That requires nothing beyond moving air and a wet surface for that air to pass through. When air at 94 degrees and 30% humidity passes through a wet linen surface, The evaporation of moisture from the linen absorbs heat from the air. The air exiting the wet linen into the room is measurably cooler and more humid than the air that entered from outside. In the conditions of a typical Ohio August afternoon, this temperature drop runs between 8 and 14 degrees depending on the outdoor humidity level. Lower outdoor humidity produces a larger drop. The drier the air, the more evaporation the air can absorb, and the more evaporation it absorbs from the linen, the more heat it loses before entering the room. Isaac Shetler's grandmother made these curtains. She made them from natural unbleached linen because linen holds water longer than cotton and releases it more slowly and evenly, which produces a longer lasting and more consistent cooling effect from a single dampening. Isaac Shetler's wife re-dampens the curtains twice during the afternoon on hot days, once around 1 in the afternoon and once around 4, using a spray bottle of plain water that takes approximately 45 seconds per window. That is the entire labor cost of the cooling system at its most active point. The $8. Isaac Shetler told me the last linen he bought for replacement curtains cost him $4 per yard at a fabric store in Worcester. A bedroom window typically requires 2 yards of linen for a curtain. One window, 2 yards, $8. He said, "I have had bedroom curtains last 15 years before they needed replacing." He said, $8 for 15 summers of bedroom cooling. He said the math, and then he looked at me to see if I wanted to argue with it. I did not want to argue with it. The timing of window management on Isaac Shetler's Fredericksburg farm is the component that most English visitors get wrong when they try to implement this system themselves. And Isaac walked me through it specifically because he said the wrong timing produces poor results that make people conclude the system does not work when in fact the timing was simply incorrect. During the day, from roughly 9 in the morning until the outdoor temperature begins dropping in the early evening, all windows on the south and west faces of the Shetler farmhouse are kept closed. Not with the linen curtains hanging damp across open windows. Closed. The south and west windows are closed because the air outside those windows during the hottest part of the day is hotter than the air inside the house, and opening them allows hot air to enter, which is the opposite of the intended result. The linen curtains on the south and west windows are dampened and hung across the closed windows during the day. In this configuration, they are not cooling incoming air because no air is moving through them. They are doing something different. They are acting as an evaporative cooling surface on the interior of the window glass, which is the surface through which radiant solar heat enters the room even when the window is closed. The wet linen positioned against the inside of the window glass creates a zone of evaporative cooling right at the point where solar radiant heat is entering the room, which reduces the thermal gain through the glass by a meaningful amount. Isaac Shetler said, "The English close their windows in summer to keep heat out and then run air conditioning to cool the sealed house." He said, "That works if you are willing to pay for it." He said, "We close our south and west windows during the hottest part of the day to keep heat out, and then we open all windows after 7 in the evening when the outside air has dropped below the inside temperature, and we use the cool night air to flush all the heat that accumulated during the day out of the house before we sleep." He said, "The key is the flush." He said, "Most people go to sleep in a house that has been accumulating heat since morning and wonder why they cannot sleep." He said, "We spend 45 minutes before bed opening every window in the house and creating a cross draft that moves the warm interior air out and pulls cool exterior air in, and by the time we go to sleep the house has been reset to the nighttime outdoor temperature rather than carrying the thermal debt of the day into the bedroom." He said, "This is not a complicated idea." He said, "It is the idea that houses had before air conditioning was invented, when the people who built and lived in them had no machine to fall back on and had to think clearly about how air actually moves and what temperature actually does across a 24-hour cycle." The third element of Isaac Shetler's bedroom cooling system is the one he showed me last, partly because it is the element that requires the most explanation and partly because it is the element that distinguishes his system most completely from any approach I had previously encountered. Inside the Shetler bedroom, directly beneath the 2 north-facing windows, Isaac Shetler keeps 2 ceramic crocks. Each crock is approximately 14 inches tall and 10 inches in diameter, made from unglazed terracotta, and each one is filled with water to within 2 inches of the top. The crocks sit on wooden trays that catch any seepage, and they have been sitting in those positions beneath those windows since Isaac moved into the farmhouse 32 years ago. Unglazed terracotta is porous. Water seeps slowly through its walls and evaporates from the exterior surface of the clay continuously. This evaporation cools the exterior of the crock, which cools the water inside the crock, which is not the primary purpose of the crocks in the bedroom. The primary purpose is the continuous evaporative cooling of the room air by the exterior surface of the clay. A 14-inch terracotta crock with water inside has approximately 350 square inches of exterior evaporating surface, and 2 crocks together provide 700 square inches of continuous passive evaporation that operates at no cost and requires no attention beyond refilling once every 2 to 3 days. Isaac Shetler said, "My grandmother had 4 of these in her bedroom." He said, "Her bedroom was on the south side of an earlier house on this property, in a room that took more direct sun than mine does, and she managed it with 4 crocks and the linen curtains and the timing of her windows." He said, "She never complained about sleeping hot." He said, "She lived to 89 and slept in that room from the time she was married at 22 until the summer before she died, and her daughter, who I met once when she was 94, told me she had never once heard her mother say she could not sleep for the heat." The 2 terracotta crocks that Isaac uses in his Fredericksburg bedroom cost him, when he bought them at a pottery supply store in Millersburg, approximately $12 each. He has had them for 32 years. In 32 years, he has not replaced either of them because terracotta crocks used for holding water do not wear out. Isaac Shetler said, $24 for 32 summers of a cooling element in my bedroom. He said this, and then he let the number sit without adding anything to it, because the number did not require commentary. Isaac Shetler's Fredericksburg farmhouse has one more bedroom cooling element that he mentioned almost as an afterthought at the end of the morning, as though it was so obvious to him that he had nearly forgotten to mention it. And it is the element that I think produces the greatest single impact on nighttime sleeping temperature, even though it costs nothing and requires nothing but a decision made once. The beds in the Shetler farmhouse do not have box springs. They sit on wooden slat bases with gaps between the slats, and the mattresses on those bases are stuffed with wool rather than foam. Wool is a natural temperature regulating fiber. It absorbs moisture from the body during the night without feeling wet, which manages the microclimate between the sleeper and the mattress surface, rather than allowing heat and moisture to accumulate between skin and bedding. A wool mattress in a 71-degree room feels cooler to sleep on than a foam mattress in the same room because the foam traps body heat and moisture at the surface while the wool disperses it. The slat base allows air to circulate beneath the mattress, which prevents the bottom of the mattress from acting as an insulating barrier that traps body heat between the sleeper and the bed. Isaac Shetler said, "A person sleeping on a foam mattress on a box spring in a sealed room is sleeping inside a heat trap." He said, "The foam absorbs body heat from above, and the box spring reflects it back from below, and the sealed room accumulates it from all sides. And then that person wonders why they are hot at 3 in the morning, even though the thermostat says 72 degrees. He said, "The thermostat measures the room. It does not measure the microclimate inside your bedding, which is where you actually sleep." He said, "You can cool the room to 60 degrees and still sleep hot if the bedding is trapping your body heat against your skin." Sitting at the Shetler kitchen table in Fredericksburg on the last morning of my visit, Isaac Shetler said something about the bedroom cooling system that I want to give you exactly as he said it, because it reframes the whole conversation in a way I have not found a better way to say. He said, "The English spend money to fight summer." He said, "I spend $8 to work with summer." He said, "Summer wants to move air. Summer creates temperature differentials between night and day that are large enough to cool a house if you use them correctly. Summer provides humidity low enough in Ohio most nights to make evaporative cooling effective. Summer gives you 12 hours of cool nighttime air after 12 hours of hot daytime air. And if you open your house at the right time, you get 12 hours of free cooling that does not cost $1 or produce a carbon molecule." He said, "The air conditioner fights all of that. It seals the house against the cool night air. It fights the temperature differential instead of using it. It replaces the natural humidity regulation of a breathing house with mechanical dehumidification that costs money to run and produces heat as a byproduct that the air conditioner then has to cool, which is a system that is fighting itself." He said, "We do not fight summer." He said, "We read summer the way a farmer reads weather, as information about what is available and how to use it. And then we build our lives around using what is available rather than purchasing a replacement for it." He said, "My great-grandmother cooled her bedroom this way." He said, "My grandmother cooled her bedroom this way." He said, "My mother cooled her bedroom this way." He said, "I cool my bedroom this way." He said, "None of us have ever complained about sleeping hot, and none of us have ever paid an electric bill for the privilege of sleeping in our own beds." I want to give you the complete system in practical terms before I close, because the principles are clear, but the implementation should be specific enough that you can start this weekend. The linen curtains go on the windows of the rooms you sleep in, specifically on the windows that face south or west and that take direct afternoon sun. Natural unbleached linen from any fabric store, 2 yards per window, hung on a simple tension rod inside the window frame. Cost is $8 per window. You dampen them with a spray bottle during the afternoon on hot days when those windows are closed, and you open them in the evening when you open the windows for the night flush. The terracotta crocks go beneath the windows on the coolest wall of the bedroom, typically the north-facing wall. Any garden center or pottery supply store carries unglazed terracotta pots in the appropriate size. Fill them with water. Set them on a tray. Refill every 2 to 3 days. The cost is $12 to $15 per crock, and they last indefinitely. The window timing is the critical variable. South and west windows close during the day, with damp linen curtains across them on the inside. North and east windows open during the day to allow passive through ventilation. All windows open after the outdoor temperature drops below the indoor temperature in the evening, typically between 7 and 9 depending on the season and location, with a deliberate cross-draft created by opening windows on opposite sides of the bedroom simultaneously to flush the accumulated heat before sleep. The bedding matters. Natural fiber mattress covers or mattress toppers, wool if available, cotton if not, placed between the foam mattress surface and the fitted sheet. This alone reduces the sleeping surface temperature measurably on a warm night. Linen sheets rather than cotton sheets, because linen conducts heat away from the body more efficiently than cotton and feels cooler against skin at the same room temperature. Isaac Shetler said, "Start with the curtains and the timing." He said, "Do those 2 things correctly for 1 week and measure the temperature in your bedroom at 10 at night compared to what it is now." He said, "If you do not see a difference, you have not done the timing correctly, because the timing is the system and the materials support the timing rather than replacing it." In the comments below, tell me this. What is the temperature in your bedroom right now, at the time you are most likely to be trying to fall asleep? And what are you currently doing to manage it? I read every comment, and those specific numbers tell me more about what this audience needs than any general description of the problem ever does. Subscribe if you are not already here. Next week I am going back to Isaac Shetler's Fredericksburg farmhouse to document the winter side of the same window and curtain system, specifically the way the Shetler family uses the same linen curtains and the same understanding of air movement to retain heat in winter without the heating costs that most similarly sized houses in Wayne County pay, using a principle that Isaac's grandfather described as letting the house think rather than making it do what you want. The linen is at the fabric store. The crocks are at the garden center. The timing costs nothing. $8 and one decision to stop fighting summer. That is the whole answer.